So you guys, we're going to be talking love, relationships, and sex. This is Q&A fueled. If you have questions and you want to drop them in the question box, you can. If you want to drop them in the comments, we're going to try our best to reach everybody's questions best we can. But first things first, you're amazing. How about
Me?
that?
Oh,
You're
thank you. I
amazing.
appreciate it. I'm learning.
Not amazing because you're funny and you're a great actor, because you got great choice in the wife.
Oh, you've been
Told
doing
you
your
I'm crushing
research.
on Miss Manal.
Hey, you've been doing your
I'm
research.
crushing on his wife, you guys.
Yeah, my wife, she's pretty dope, man. I'm
She's
very,
so
very lucky.
funny.
Is she goofy?
Yeah.
She
She
goofy, man.
is, and I love that. I love that. I feel like people really need that. I think people overlook how important humor is in a relationship all the
I,
time.
I think it's about
All the
80% of our,
time.
probably
Or
80 or
maybe
90% of our relationship. Because I think,
so do you
too,
think
we don't take each other serious. Like we take life serious, but we don't take each other too serious. And like for the most part, it always comes back to a joke. Even if we have a moment and it gets crazy, like we still come back to joke in some kind of way.
how important would you say that humor played a role in the building of your relationship and then also the building of your lives as husband and wife?
I'm gonna say it messed me up because honestly, I've always been the funniest person in my relationship, like always. But when I met her, I was like, "Yo, this girl is hilarious." And so when I'm at home, and she'll tell you, like, when I'm home, I'm serious, and when she home, she is reckless and goofy, and she just remind me to get outside my head because as an artist, we always in our head thinking about the next move, the next project, and she just be
Mhm.
on me, man. But she's so funny.
Yeah, yeah, I love her. I love her skits.
It's
So
so funny.
I do. I love her skits.
That's so funny.
So you guys, we're doing love, relationships, and sex. But starting with love, I think it would be important for us to talk about what love really means to you. If anybody watches me kind of religiously or have seen a lot of my interviews, my past two for the Love Below, I thought it was important to bring people on who that was their job and that was their focus. So I had a love coach on, Byron Jamal, and then I also had Mr. Let Go. And so they offer two totally different ends of the
His name is Let
spectrum
Go.
as far as the perspective on love. Yes, Mr.
Okay.
Let Go. So Mr. Let Go is like love doesn't exist. It's just a word. It's more about being able to utilize a person in your life in a certain way and then fitting what you need and what you want is not about love because that's just a word. And then you have
Ouch.
Byron Jamal, who is a
Ouch.
love coach, who is God is love. And if you have love, you got God, and vice versa. And this is how you love yourself, and this is how you love others. So I would like to know, from you all who are watching, who are listening, like, what does love really mean to you? But what is it to you, Ron?
I feel like you'll never know how good God is until you're like in a committed relationship. And I believe
Mm,
like our commitment to God is a reflection of his love to us. And also our commitment to our person is a reflection of God's love through a person to us. Because it's hard to see God if you ain't never been loved unconditionally. Like if you grew up in a household and you ain't never been loved unconditionally and everything was conditioned, it's hard to believe God
mm,
is who he is. But if you've experienced it, especially with somebody who you committed your life to and you see like them love on you in a way where you like, I don't deserve this kind of love, but I get it anyway. Like it's grace and mercy, like shown in your life. And it's like, I don't, and then also I'll say this too. I feel like love is also just go warm and fuzzy feeling that, it is. Love is literally a choice. It's literally a choice. As much as you say you got this amazing kind of love, but imagine if you love somebody and the person that you love gets sick, they have a loved one that's sick, they go through depression. Is your love gone because you're not getting your needs met, or is it still there? You know what I'm saying?
mm.
Because life happens, man. And we talk about this a lot, man. Like love is literally a choice, and you got to learn to love somebody because you don't know what you're dealing with. I made this statement. I got a joke about if you knew your secrets, would you marry you?
Hey,
You probably wouldn't marry you. But
hey,
the
you
fact,
might
but
not.
right. But
Right?
once you
Be like,
start doing
mama,
truth,
hold up.
once you start doing truth and you find out who a person really is, because in your head, you done made a whole fantasy about, oh, the woman I love would never do that, not in her past. Or the man I love, he would never do that, not in his past. But people jacked up. We all got generational trauma. We got junk. And when you meet somebody, man, you literally choose, like, I'm going to choose to love you even though you get on my nerves. Like, and then sometimes I tell my wife, like,
Mhm.
look, I love you, but I don't like you right now. Like you get on my nerves, and we do the same for each other. But my love is still a choice every day.
Yes.
What
Yes.
about you?
Most definitely.
What is your decision? What do you feel like love is?
Um, I feel like love is being in a space without options.
What's that?
Um, what is that? That means that I don't have any other option but to love you.
That
You know
sounds
what I
mandatory.
mean? No, not mandatory. It's just that with your faults, with your flaws, with whatever comes with you, I'm in a space where my only option is to love that. I don't have another option. I don't have a get up and leave you today option. I don't have a let's just call it quits option. I have just my love is unconditional. So to try to say, a lot of people, I love you, but they have that but. My love is without that but.
That's
It
conditional.
doesn't
Yeah.
come with the, you know what I mean, with the rules and the regulations that I think a lot of people put on that feeling and that emotion. That feeling and that emotion to me doesn't come with rules and regulations. It's just I don't have any other option but to love you. Like once I'm in that space, that's where I'm at. What's my other option? To be dead, to be gone. Like that's it. It's love or die. That's it.
That's
That's
super
it.
dope. I wanted to add, what's
Yeah.
up, Neil? What's up, KM? Two things. One, before I got married, I had to switch where if something was uncomfortable or I didn't like it or it reminded me of something that hurt me before, I got to switch where I turned my switch off and I never turned my switch back on.
Mm-hmm.
But when you mature and you're actually ready to be an adult, I feel like real love is being an adult. Because
Yeah.
real love is learning how to stay when it don't feel good. I ain't talking about abuse. I ain't talking about like somebody harming you, but real love is staying through the ugly of somebody, like I mentioned on my podcast all the time, and my live with my wife is battling depression. You might not
Mm-hmm.
get your needs met while somebody battling depression. When somebody family member is going through something and they worried about their family member, you might not get the love you say you want, but you stay anyway. And it's learning how to get rid
Mm-hmm.
of that switch because I had my switch my whole entire life. When I got married, I realized I can't use that switch anymore. And your switch is usually attached to pride, ego, and fear.
Mm-hmm.
Most arguments you have and that switch, and you like, I can't do this no more, is either pride, ego, and fear. And the right person that God put in your life will show you parts of your stuff that you don't want to deal with. That's why people quick to run. You run because you don't want to deal with yourself half the time because they will bring up some stuff in you that you didn't even know was there. Meaning, it might be the way they talk to you, it might be the way they shut down, it might be their sarcasm. Some of that stuff might be a memory of your childhood. So for me, when me and my wife got together, I think I might have mentioned this on the last one was, I grew up in a household, both my parents were loud. Like my dad, he drank, he'd be loud, and my mom was just a loud person to counteract his loud. And
Mm-hmm.
when me and my lady got in an argument, I think early in our marriage, and my wife got loud at me, I said, yo, you can't even don't do that to me. Don't raise your voice at me because I can't handle that. Because if you raise your voice at me, I'm going to protect myself, and I can't protect you and me at the same time. My job is to protect you at all costs, even from myself.
Right.
So I'm going to do my best to
Mm-hmm.
protect you from me, even when I know I could say something to hurt you because I'm a comedian. I take jazz for a living. This is what I do. But I choose not to do that, and I said, I love you, so I need you to talk kind to me. And I said, my responsibility is to lead the movement of you being kind to me in my household. I'm going to be
Mm-hmm.
the person who's going to start the movement. I'm going to be kind to you even when I'm upset. I need to show you what I need in order for me so you to know what I need. I can't expect you to know what I need. So once I show you and this is what I need, and I tell you that I require this, if you don't
Mm-hmm.
hear me, we have another conversation. We having another
And
conversation.
so,
And
what?
last quick point, love is also freedom. Sometimes when people get married, they think that it's almost like what church is. Like we've reduced church to wearing a suit and running around the church when the shout music comes on. That's what church is now. Versus like church is in your heart. Church is like receiving your life. Love is the same way. Love is legit. When you see somebody, you don't have to control them and tell them they can't do stuff. I want my wife to dress sexy. You know what I'm saying? But there's
Right.
also stuff to come on. I want her to
Right.
dress sexy. I want her to hang out with her friends. I want her to go out. I want her to have a good time. My love is
Mm-hmm.
not restrictive and so small that you can't be yourself in my love. Because me and my wife talked about this, and I was like, "Do you feel married?" She's like, "No." I was like, "I don't feel married either. Not in a responsibility way, but more so like I still feel like myself. I just live with the person I care about. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't know that until after I got married because we created an environment where we could be ourselves and love each other at the same time. So just adding that.
Right. Most definitely. Most definitely. So, one, I want to tell you that your signal is going in and out a little bit. So, I
Oh,
just
is
want
it?
you to be aware. So,
Okay.
if I ever ask you to repeat something,
No
that's why.
problem. No problem.
Um, but then you said something earlier, used a specific word that I wanted to touch on. You used the word requirement. And I think a lot of times when people are in search of love, one thing that they neglect is what their own requirements are. Like we know we want it, but we don't know what we're looking for. We don't necessarily understand what it feels like to even have what this real list is of what we require in order to be loved or order for us to recognize that we are being loved. So I just want to challenge you all who are in here, who are listening, who are watching, try to really understand what are your requirements when choosing love. What is it not only that you require of the person that you seek, but what do you require of yourself? Um, I know a lot of people, I'm sure everybody has kind of seen the video that B. Simone did, and then a lot of people kind of up in arms about what she said. But if you think about it, that's just the reality. If your requirement is something above and beyond what you're even willing to give or require of yourself, how can you then find some symbiosis in another person? How can you then, if you don't know how to love you properly, because essentially, even though she broke it down in a different way, that's essentially what she was saying. If you're not right with yourself, if you don't have you at a certain playing field, how can you then seek out something that you're not even aware of, that you don't know, that you don't recognize? So I think it's super important when we're out here dating, starting new relationships, or even if you're already in a relationship but you don't know what phase you want to go to and what's your next step and this, that, and the third, you really need to know what you require, and you need to be straight up about it. I know you and your wife, did you all have a contract, or you all had some sort of verbal agreement about what you wanted, correct?
We did. We had a contract. When we were dating, actually before we got married, we said, this is what I'm gonna need in order to feel loved. Uh, and we shook hands on it. Wasn't no paper contract, but it was like, this is what I need. And matter of fact, I think I took a picture of us like pinky promising like this. I think we was like in Cabo or something like that, and we made a pinky promise that like we're gonna make sure we do these things for each other in order to feel love. Like one of my wife's requirements was we need to have date night every week. And I don't care about COVID. I don't care about the world shutting down. I don't care about you not having a job. We doing date night every week, and we do that. And sometimes our date be low budget, but super hilarious and fun. And sometimes we spend a
Mm-hmm.
little money and we treat ourselves. You know what I'm saying? But that's one of the things we want. We do. Also, being on this side of marriage too, I would say this to all my single people: if you're tuning in, you're watching, dating for two reasons. One, you're dating to find out if you're the one. Once you find out you're not the one, great time to leave. That's the only reason why you're dating somebody, to find out information and find out if you're the one.
Mm-hmm.
Also, dating is collecting data, man. You're literally collecting data about yourself and the person. And my takeaway from my dating life was I found out what I like because I dated so much. I found out what I like and what I did not like. And you don't know what you like until you see it. You don't know what you like until you experience it, you know? And it's almost like when I was in the corporate world and my boss was like, they gave me like 1 day of training. And it was like, if you have any questions, let us know. And sometimes you don't know what your question is until you experience the thing that you've never experienced before. And how can you ask a question
Mm-hmm.
for something you've never experienced before? Because once you're married, it's too late. So you got to be able to like take in this information, find out what you like. And then once you find out what you like from dating, which I feel like dating is not a bad thing. It just feels like that because of the pressure we put on ourselves about the time constraints and the holidays. But man, dating should be fun. Like you shouldn't give so much that
Mm-hmm.
you have nothing for yourself when you're done and you just met somebody 2 weeks ago. Like, no, you pace yourself. They should earn the love that you allow them to have. Like you can't just be a wife from hello. That's dangerous. Just because you don't want to be an emotional whore with a bunch of other people. Like because you like I'm putting
Right.
all my feelings in this person. I don't want to share that. But if he ain't said that, you are setting yourself up for failure. It's kind of like the Lori Harvey thing. Everybody mad at Lori Harvey. She's 24 years old. She is
Doing what 24
24,
year olds do.
doing with 20, but she's dating high profile men, the guys that you would love to date, and she's living her life.
Yeah. 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 I think sometimes just, I guess us as fans, us as humans, whatever the case, I think we sometimes forget that we probably were once out there too. You know what I mean? If we were judged by our fresh out
Probably,
of college self, you know what I
probably.
mean? My 24-year-old self was off the chain. I ain't even gonna lie to you. I worked 2 jobs and I was in the club all night. I ain't never sleep. Like
I was in these streets,
worked and
man.
party, worked and party, worked and party, work. Like that's it. Like if you were to judge me now on how I lived my life in my early 20s, or anybody else for that matter, I think people are batshit crazy. They do need to leave a girl alone. Like, first off, kudos to you, Lori, because you are pulling some nice nips. Okay, you pulling
She
the
get the
top of
top
the top.
five, the top five,
Okay,
top 5%.
she got some fantastic options out there. But at 24, do you really know what you want? Like, no. Like, but I think it's like that with anybody young and in the limelight for at any level. You know what I mean? It's, oh, she's dating this person, she's dating that person, yada yada yada. I would just say, hey, y'all could go get a life. Y'all could be on dates too.
I love it.
You know? Y'all
I
could.
absolutely love it. Because the
You know
cool
what I
part
mean? You
is
don't
she
worry
ain't
about
going.
who she dating. You could be going out on a date.
The cool part is I don't even know what she sound like. She don't be coming on Instagram and talking about. She don't do none of that. We talking about her right now, and she just living her life.
Listen, and
I,
she's
I ain't
having
never
a
seen her
good
do an
time.
interview. I ain't never like. It's all other people's opinion of her because her life
Hmm.
is so like under a microscope because of who her dad is and the moves she making. But man, she's 24. Let that girl live.
Yeah,
I was
most
in these streets.
definitely. Hey, hey, I understand.
I own the streets.
So you were talking a little bit ago about dating and what that really is, and I do kind of I agree full force with it. It is collecting data. Um, what is, or if is there really a safe time to say, okay, I've dated long enough? You know what I mean? Like if
For a
you're
woman or
dating
for a man?
somebody, for anybody, really, we could break it down for men or women. Like if you're dating somebody 6 months, a year, 2 years, 3 years, like when is a safe transition to actually having a title or some level of commitment? Or is there should people be like, okay, I'm done, I'm tired? You know what I mean? Like is there a turn off switch?
I just feel like when a man is ready, you'll know. When he is ready to get the game and he's done and he chose you, it ain't a question, it ain't a conversation. I always make this statement, but I feel like boys give you questions and grown men give you answers. Grown men will answer all the questions that you would normally have. Like, where's this going? What are we? When a man chooses you and he's done, he'll make all, there's no questions. But I'll also say this too. Until he's ready, it don't matter what you do, you're not the one. Like, until he decides that he's ready to actually get married, there's nothing you can do. Now, commitment wise, I feel like if he's in the if he says he's marriage minded and moving toward marriage, he knows probably within the second or third date whether you're the one. The rest of the time that he's
Mm,
BSing is him unpacking his own junk, trying to figure out how he gonna make these phone calls and adjust his life to get all his needs met by one person. And matter of fact, I'll just say for me, most of my question questions came because I was like, yo, how? Because I'm most of my life I've literally had to cut and paste women to get everything I needed. I had one girl I enjoyed
mm,
for conversation, another girl I enjoyed for nourishment, another girl, functional girl, like just my buddy. But I'm like, I know this is the timing or whatever, like it would never work out. And I had all these women together to get the girl I needed. But when I met my wife, I was like, whoa, I got to make phone calls. I got to make, and I wasn't even like sexually attached to all of them, but I had them in my life so long where you create emotional equity with people that you like, I got to make phone calls. You know what I'm saying? So me trying to reconcile that was painful to a degree, but also my wife made it easy because literally when I went out, I wanted to be with her. When I was out with my boys, I'm like, yo, I wish my girl was here. Like, man, I wish my girl was here. So I felt like I wasn't missing out on nothing. And that's half the battle because imagine having Netflix and your favorite show is on there, but it's only your favorite show. If you love Girlfriends and you can only watch Girlfriends, you be like, man, I wish I could watch more shows, but you got to get all your needs met from one TV show. So I just felt like I wasn't missing out on nothing. I was very grateful that I met somebody who reminded me like I'm not losing out on nothing. I feel like I had more fun when I was with her. And literally, we traveled all over the world, and I was like, yo, I couldn't think of anybody else I want to be with.
Most definitely. So, your service is really, really choppy.
Oh, why
We
did you
might
say
need
choppy?
to,
Okay.
you was on a roll.
Ah,
I can hear you.
hold your
I
hand
was
up or
being
something.
selfish because
So I'm on the Wi-Fi. Just give me just a second, okay? Hopefully it doesn't hang up.
I
Hold
know
on.
I didn't want to look. I didn't want to cut you off. We're gonna see if we can get this squared away because I don't want you all to miss a beat. So again, if you all have questions for us, drop them in the Q&A box, drop them in the comment section. I prefer the Q&A box that could pop up so everybody can see your question. But just to catch everybody up, I am T.Graye. This is The Love Below. I'm doing a live tonight with comedian Ron G. And although he don't know he the love guru, goddamn, he is today. He is today. Is it okay? Can you hear me? Look, we can see we can see the faces you making, but can you hear me? That's funny. Somebody said you got a whole joke about choppy service, and look at you now. Look at you now. It's okay though, bruh. Let's just come on and come back in. Everybody that's in here, y'all gonna come back in with us so we can finish this great conversation. We're talking love, we're talking relationships, we're talking sex. There is nothing off the table if it's something that
There you
he
go.
can't
I can hear
answer.
you.
Believe me. Oh, look at it. Believe me, you guys, I got you. I got you. Because he don't really go
My
into
bad.
sex as much as I do. Like, I got you.
All
It's
right.
okay. You good?
I'm back. Can you hear me?
I can. I
Oh
can,
man,
and
I
your
was
shape
worried.
up is immaculate. Did you
Oh,
cut your
I
hair?
appreciate it. Yeah, I was cutting my hair. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
I
You look
appreciate it.
fantastic.
Thank you so much.
We, yes, we
Is my
appreciate the
lighting
close up.
okay or is it dim? My side looks dim.
It's a little dim.
Okay, hold on a second.
Ask him about it. Ask him about what, Dr. Ponder? I gotta look. I gotta scroll up to see what you're talking about.
Is that better?
Yes.
All right, cool.
The Dr. Ponder said you got a whole joke about choppy service.
I
And look
do.
at you now.
Oh, because she got an Android and her phone is trash.
Her
No,
phone working fine.
I know, but I didn't put it on Wi-Fi before I logged on, which I feel bad about. I was on my plan, and I got to get on my Wi-Fi because I get better service in the house. All good. Anyway, don't listen to me.
It's okay.
I got to live in an old building with thick walls.
His looks brighter than mine. That's because he light skinned. I ain't messing with y'all today.
It's so funny.
I ain't messing with y'all today.
It's so
Look, I
funny.
can't get no closer to the light. Y'all gonna get my whole everything, all my pores and all that. I can't give y'all all of that.
Hilarious. So tell me, what did you miss out on my statement? Is there anything I said that
I really didn't miss. I really didn't. I really didn't. Like,
if you
although
did,
it was
I'll try my best
choppy,
to.
I think that everybody kind of really got it. Like, you always dropping gems, bro. I just be trying to pick them up as I go. Just pick them up, put them in my bag.
Thank you.
Okay, so we have a question. When
Go ahead.
married, does the amount of sex change? Hmm.
Hey.
Hmm. So let me start this with a fun sex fact for you guys.
Go ahead.
Fun sex fact. On average, couples have sex 62 days out of the year. Mind you, it's 365 of them. 62 times
Is that
out of the
married
year.
and single but living together sex? Well,
It
like,
just kind of gave a basic general that
mm,
couples, they didn't say what kind of couples have
mm.
sex 62 times out of the year. So that's at least once a week, twice on holidays and special occasions. And I'm going to tell you, to be honest with you, I think that sucks.
I think
I
it's
think it
terrible.
sucks.
I think it's terrible. But I know I don't have kids, but I will say this. I mentioned this too about men that I feel like women don't know. But most of our drive behind sex is like the chase. Like the chase is the most important part, probably more so than the act. The whole idea of conquering something or someone you've never seen before. And I know it's a terrible word to use, but like I see her, she ain't paying me no attention, but I'm gonna get her attention. I'm gonna get her to pay me attention. Now I'm going on a date with her and I smash. Like
the chase of that is probably more exciting than the actual act. And I say that because that's why marriage sex is different from single sex, because you got to go over somebody's house, you got to make sure the timing's right, the scheduling's right,
Mm-hmm.
somebody home, somebody out of town, somebody at work. But when you live with somebody, like there's no chase attached to it. And I said, men, we're wired to like conquer and chase, like that's our DNA. You know what I'm saying? So when you're not chasing, a bit of that is gone, and it's almost like the flip side of Aisha Curry. You remember Aisha Curry said she didn't feel attractive, and we're like,
Mm-hmm.
you're married to the guy that everybody want. Why do you? But again, like this dude is traveling the world. He has his own thing going on, and you're
Mm-hmm.
home raising kids, and you don't get that edification, especially since he's a decent guy. Most dudes ain't going behind his back to like talk to you because
Right.
you're with the guy. So there could be a bit of, and women crucified her for saying this, but it's like she didn't feel sexy and wanted, and it's like I'm sure he complimented his woman, you know what I'm saying? But when you
Mm-hmm.
live with somebody, it's just different. So it's almost like me and my wife made a commitment, an unspoken commitment to compliment each other. We do it all the time. Like I
Mm-hmm.
feel like when you live with somebody, you should be complimenting each other, even when you got the exam ponytail and you got your sweats on and your Netflix and chill
Right.
hair. Like you should be
Right.
complimenting the person. It should be some grabbing going on, some touching when you walk by,
Mm-hmm.
and if you ain't touching and grabbing when you walk by, just off, it's there. Like, hey, look, it's like, what are you doing? Because
Right.
in the streets, you're gonna
Right.
get it. You know what I'm saying? Because I've
Right.
seen me and my
Right.
wife for last year. We was in quarantine, and she got the exam ponytail and the sweats on every day, and I'm like, she cute. But then she would get up and go out with her girls, and she put the get 'em girl boots on and the cat suit with the trench coat, and I'm like, you wearing that for
Well,
the home girls? Can I get some of that? And it
yes.
made me be like, I'm gonna need some of that. So, but then it reminded me we need to have date night. So if I have date night with her, even if we're going to get some ice cream, put them boots on when we go back to get some ice cream. Throw them boots on, put your red lips on, them white pants I like. Let's go get some ice cream. You know what I'm saying?
I
I'm like,
know that's
oh,
right.
and it's the chase again. It's the
Yeah.
thing. It's like we're visual. So if you're not stimulating yourself visually and you ain't chasing, as a man, you're not going to be as I don't even know the word. You still gonna want it either way, but it's just different because ain't no chase attached to it. You know what I'm saying? And women the same way. If you don't
Mm-hmm.
feel like this man staring your grits and like foreplay don't start in the bed. Foreplay start when you call your person like, hey, when I see you a little later on, hey, when you get home, or you know what I'm saying? It's hey, I'm thinking about your little smiley face, or you send her a little nasty meme or something. You like it starts then. It
Right.
don't start in the bed.
Right.
But
Right.
if you're with each other, y'all don't have those moments to like be away from each other, to have those moments, like
Mm-hmm.
part of the chase is
Mm-hmm.
gone. So I get that. And then we ain't even talk about having kids. That's a whole nother conversation.
Listen. So the question on the table, you guys, is when married, does the amount of sex change? And I really feel like the amount of sex changing is totally up to you. And I get it. I get that we're busy. I get that we have children, we got jobs. I get that we're tired. I get it. Okay. I've lived that life, but I feel like if you're not still going to be the same freak that I fell in love with, leave me. Like, tell me ahead of time that that's going to change. Like, even if I'm tired, even if I might be even upset, you still need to get these cheeks, okay, so I can get me some good sleep, okay? And
I
if you
agree.
didn't get it that night, you still need to break me off in the morning before I go to work, just so I could walk in there light on my feet.
Right.
You know what I mean? Nobody wants to go in burdened with all of
Right.
that up in
You
them.
arguing and
No,
ain't
get
getting
that up
none.
out of me.
Hey, you need your
Get
skin
that
to
up
be
out of
clear.
me.
No, even if your heart is heavy, I need my skin to be clear. That's what I need.
Yes. Yes. I think that one, you incorporating the date nights are very important. But then two, you still need to be sexy for your mate. Like, even if, like he said, if it's the ponytail, the glasses, the whatever, I'm in scrubs every day. Okay. Ain't no makeup on my face. I
Mm-hmm.
come in and I'm just looking a mess, and I'm scratching because these new locks is getting on my nerves, and
That's funny.
and my scrubs is all disheveled. By the end of the night, I'm going to shower. I'm gonna Whitley Gilbert that thing. I know everybody remembers that episode of A Different World where she got up, she brushed her teeth, she put on her lip gloss, she fluffed her hair and got back in the bed.
Mm-hmm.
Do that sometimes. And that's not just a woman thing. That's a man thing too. Don't just come in the room and, oh baby, I took a shower and that's my foreplay. Nah. The same way I used to be in here crawling on all fours, doing all types of nastiness when you were slim. And here we are 20 years later. You crawl, you and that gut on in here.
They said the cat. Oh God, that's so funny. That's so
You do
funny.
that same shit with your dad
Yeah.
bod. because I still find you sexy. I still want you. And I think it's so important to let your mate know that. I still find you sexy. I still want you. No matter how tired you are, no matter what changes you've gone through, I still want you. And I think that piece is so important. Even if, like you said, even if it's not full on sex, it's the grabbing my butt, smacking me on my butt. You
You
know
got
what
to
I
do
mean? Or you
the
still
touch
like
and
this
grab.
thing.
You got to do
You know what I
the
mean?
smash
Like
and
it's
grab.
still the coming in and the little subtle kiss on the neck. You can still, if you were dancing on tables, because a lot of you were, you was dancing on tables. That man saw you, came in, swooped in, saved your whole ass life. Still be that hoe from time to time. Wanna know why? Because when he saw that, he wasn't thinking, oh, let me go save this girl. He was thinking, oh, let me go take this girl home. When your man walked in before you knew him and you seen that shape up and his pretty teeth and you checking him out and ooh, his hands and ooh, how he walked and ooh,
Right.
that ass, all of that.
Yeah.
I want to still see that. I want to still admire that. I want to still acknowledge that. You know what I mean? Sometimes we forget to compliment you guys, and the sex thing begins so mental and it starts so verbal before
Way
anything
before the moment.
physical even happens.
Yeah.
I mean, just walking in the door after you left the barbershop, babe, that shape up, them waves making me seasick, whatever the case, acknowledge it. Notice him the same way you want him to notice that you're doing something different, that you've amped it up. Like, I think people lose sight of that part, that it's so important to still show the person that they're sexy. And you
And
got to feel it for yourself too. So if you don't feel it in yourself, I don't know if you need to go to the gym. I don't know if you need to hop on that diet. I don't know what you need to do. But whatever it is, whatever's going to make you feel good first, take care of you, because you got to be happy with you. And then take care of your mate.
few things. First of all, well said. When she said crawl his gut in his bed, that's so hilarious. You grabbing gut tonight, but a few things. Me and my wife got a rule too. That when we come in the house and when we leave, we always kiss before we leave, come in and leave the house. Like always, mandatory. If she come in this house and go speak to the dogs, I'm like, whoa, come on over here. Mandatory, we do that. Also, since quarantine, I feel like my lady wasn't like a fitness person, but I don't know what changed. But she be getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning to go work out now, and this is the
Mm-hmm.
sexiest thing ever because she be worked up and amped up and talking to her friends about their life and their man, and she be like, "I just appreciate you so much." I'm like, "Who you been talking to?" You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm talking about.
Right.
Y'all be having the brunch
Right.
conversation. Um, but it's super dope to have that. And then also, ladies, little side note, y'all have the power to make us feel like a king or the worst thing on the planet. And I just feel like black women, the way y'all built, y'all can make a sound and change our whole life. If the man get a fresh haircut and he coming from the gym and you hit him with the, let me tell you something. He will probably build you a house from scratch. He will go get his GED. He will go to Home Depot and stand outside and get a job today if he's reminded by the woman that he loves that you appreciate him and that he looks good. It's something about that because imagine. So I figured out that the more compliments and more love you get at home, the less you see it outside your home. The more
Mm-hmm.
you compliment your kids and tell
Mm-hmm.
them, I adore you, you're special, you're amazing, when they hear it in the streets, it means nothing because they hear it all the time. You know what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
for my wife, I make sure it's a compliment war. You got to out compliment the competition. You got to say the most ridiculous stuff sometimes. Be like, so when she go outside, she don't hear none of that. That's why,
Right.
your little girl, like if you don't edify your little girl, make her remind her that she's dope. These little boys can like say anything to her. She's like, oh my God, I never heard that before. Like, why are you just hearing that you're
Mm-hmm.
cute for the first time
Mm-hmm.
ever? Why are you hearing that you adorable? Why are you hearing that you like can do anything you want to do? You know what I'm saying? So it's our responsibility. Men, it's our responsibility again to start the movement. But women, y'all just have a power that I feel like y'all don't even know. And me and my wife talk about this too. This is a side note. Y'all tone, I feel like God gives y'all access to God's heart. Like God has a direct connection to women. But if y'all get a download from God, it's supposed to tell us if y'all tone is bad, we will completely miss God's message. You have the power to create the man that you see because literally for men, we don't get the woman that we want until we commit to her, and you don't get the man until you understand his heart. Like once you understand the man that you're with that already chose you and he just chose to get the game for you and you have access to his heart, your tone will give you access that his mama didn't even have. You know what I'm saying? But that's the thing in our culture that we don't talk about, because my wife, I know she be giving me words from God, gems from God. But sometimes that tone wrong, I'd have missed it. I'm like, I don't even want to hear
You
that.
can't
Even if,
hear
even if you're right,
past.
even if
Yeah.
you're right, I don't even want to hear that. You ain't talking to me like that. You know what I'm saying? But y'all be having
Mm-hmm.
access. Cause your
Mm-hmm.
mama get on your nerves, but your lady, when she talks sweet to me, be like, babe, look, this is what I see. Just my little 2 cents. I ain't putting too much on it. I feel like
Right.
you should do this.
Right.
Touche. I'm never above correction ever. If your tone is right, I'll do it. But if that tone be wrong, you come at me wrong, and I'm like trying to give you a compliment, and you like sidetrack me with something I didn't do, man, go ahead.
So we do that.
That little sheet y'all be keeping, y'all hold a little list of things you did right since let's see, 2012. Let's see. Yeah, you didn't do that, and you didn't do. Matter of fact,
Listen, just because I don't want you to forget this right here when it happens. I don't want you to forget that part. No.
man, the best thing about a dope relationship is amnesia. If you have amnesia, that's the best thing you can acquire while you're in a relationship.
So let me tell you what's so very interesting about what you're saying. When you say to have amnesia, now is that forgetting the small things that really we could let go of, or is that also forgetting the big things that maybe are super impactful?
Deal breakers are deal breakers. That's just what that is. I'm talking about
Mhm.
misdemeanors.
Misdemeanors.
The you left the fridge open, the you didn't bring me nothing, the you didn't why you didn't get me one of those, or you could have got me one of
Mhm.
those too. Like that, those are misdemeanors. The thing that doesn't involve another person is just communication and selfishness. Those things, misdemeanors. So misdemeanors, you definitely should have amnesia.
Okay, so
Felonies,
we have
yeah.
another question on the table. It
Go ahead.
says, why would a man cheat if everything is going great at home?
Some
Mm.
guys are just cheaters. Like some guys cheat because I think most of our life we create an appetite. And the more you eat, the more you feed the monster, the more the monster want to eat. But just because you're married or in a committed relationship doesn't change your appetite. So you got to work on your appetite before you get married. But also, that's why it's good to have intimacy, because sex is dope. But also, if you ain't checking in and having that pillow talk every day, are you still there, young lady?
I am. I
Okay, good.
am.
I said if you're not checking in and having that pillow talk every day, you don't know how your person is doing. Because sometimes people think a good relationship is we're not arguing, and sometimes
Mhm.
when it's quiet, that's when it's scary.
Mm.
Relationships when they get quiet and ain't nobody saying nothing and we just maintaining and surviving but not thriving, you need to check in. Hey, little temperature check. How you feeling? You good? You feel sexy? You feel loved? Is there anything you need to feel more loved? Anything like if those moments when you don't check in with each other and you just glad the person at your face, you're
Mm.
being a co-conspirator. But I ain't. That's a whole nother conversation.
Hey, the original Queen Bee said it's on the cheating female more. I would say if anybody is in a happy relationship, and then they
But what is
choose
happy
to
though?
step out,
Happy is not knowing that it's bad. What is happy?
that's where I was going. Like the reality of it is to say that I have a great relationship, yet I'm cheating, whether I'm the man or the woman. If I have a great relationship, who is it great to? Is it great to the people who are on the outside looking in? Or is it actually great to the two people that's in it? Because it ain't great to at least one of us, because at least one of us is finding something else that we're lacking in that relationship elsewhere. So it might be all right, but it ain't great. It might be good, but it ain't great. So I'm not going to say there aren't some people who aren't just greedy. I'm not going to say that. Bill Bellamy said if a man got money, he got bitches. I'm not going to say that if you're not of a certain stature or whatever the case may be, that you're not just going to have women, or vice versa. For women's of a certain stature, she's not just going to have men tucked away. I can't say that, but I can say that sometimes we're in long-term relationships for comfort and for security. And then we step out, not because we're not comfortable or secure where we are, but it's something that we want. And at the moment, either you can't provide it or you're not providing it. And I got to go get it over here.
It's subcontracting.
Yes. So there was another question.
Did we answer the
Let me
question?
put that up. I think we did.
Okay, good.
What romantic acts do guys like? The young lady says, I got a romantic man, but I'm not so good at it. So she wants to know what she could do to set something up. So I could give female perspective on romantic acts for a dude, but I can't give guy perspective. But as a female, I normally go for what that guy is into. So let's say my guy's favorite team is the Houston Rockets. I'm going to, on the low, get some tickets to the game. I'm going to book a flight. I'm going to book a hotel. We're going to Houston for the weekend. That's me. You know what I mean? If my man has never had a massage, I'm going to book us a massage. We're going to go to lunch. If it's an activity that he likes to do, like I try to, when it comes to romance and a guy, I try to aim for things that I know that he likes that maybe he doesn't get on the regular. If my man says to me, I'm into art, babe, but he hasn't been to an art museum in over a year or 2 years, we're going to go to a great museum. We're going to go somewhere that to an artistic district somewhere, something that sparks that man's interest in what he's interested in, maybe when even under times when he's not with you. You know what I mean? If my dude is a sneaker dude, we're going to a sneaker ball. Like whatever it is,
Yeah.
I'm going to pick what he likes. I'm not going to make it about me. A lot of times when women plan dates, we plan dates of stuff that we want to do, but it's not about us in that moment.
Oh,
so
no.
I would say seek out whatever is really for him. It could be something that you all talked about months ago that he said, oh, babe, I'm into such and such. I like this. And I haven't seen this in person, or I haven't seen that up close, or whatever it is. It's something that man really, really likes. Go for that. Don't go for the mundane. Everybody can have dinner. Everybody can have nice lingerie. Everybody can do all that. Do something for that man that nobody else has done. That normally, for me, that works in my favor. But what do you think, Ron? What do you think men find romantic? Or what's a
Hilarious.
good idea to
I feel like
romance
men
a
don't
man?
even use the word romance when it comes to like receiving. Like we
Mm.
give because we know that's required, especially with Instagram. Instagram killing us right now with Michael B. Jordan and Cardi B. Like all that stuff is like above and beyond. But a woman that loves you, she just be more happy about the thought. If she loves you, the thought of you doing something romantic for her will make her happy. You know what I'm saying? But this is what I have, and I'm gonna give the young lady a cheat sheet. When I met my wife, I got this little note inside my phone where every time she mentioned something she liked, I just put it on my phone. Like a running list of everything she liked, from the type of dessert she liked, the type of food she liked.
Mm-hmm.
And I was randomly asking, like, hey, what's your favorite whatever? Like, what's your favorite store to shop at? What's your favorite whatever? And I put all the stuff in my phone. I got her shoe size, I got her shirt size, I got her pant size. I got the places the list of where she would like to go travel. But
Mm-hmm.
when he talks about stuff, like just make a running list of stuff that he likes. Also, the thing you can never lose with is unsolicited.
Hey, rate me.
Let me tell you something. If he gotta
Men
ask
love
you,
to be raped.
let me tell you something. Most of our lives, we have to deal with shame. Like, men, you go to a club, you see a girl you like, she says no. Like, hey, I like you. No, we don't like shame. If you want to get a man quiet, embarrass him or shame him. But if you take that away and you like initiate, which all my married friends complain about, they like, my lady don't initiate. My lady don't. If you initiate and give him some unsolicited whatever you know he like, let me tell you something. Often and frequently, you're not gonna have no problems with. He ain't gonna say nothing about the romance. But getting to the romance part, kind of like you said, like mentioning the things that he liked, like building things that he like. One time, my wife done so much cool stuff for me,
Mm-hmm.
but she know that I work hard. She know I like water, so she planned a trip to Cabo. She's like, I'm gonna plan a trip to Cabo. So this weekend, I need you to be off from Thursday through Monday. And she wouldn't tell me what it
Mm-hmm.
was, and then that day she'd be like, hey, we going to Cabo. I'm like, why you ain't say nothing? She was like, cause I know you probably wouldn't have went because you would have made sure you had to work the whole time. You know what I'm saying? So sorry, you have to
It's okay.
plan. You have to plan around things he like, and just that thing. My wife's taking me to comedy. She like big comedy shows. She like, I know you like this comedian, so I got you tickets as soon as his tickets came on sale. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm already at the comedy club, but she like, no, she know me, so she did that. But the start,
Right.
running list of everything he mentioned that he liked, just ask him, like, randomly, once a day, ask him one thing he liked, and just put it in your little notes. So whenever you need to get his shoe size, his shirt size, pant size, concerts who he like to see, album he would like to buy, exclusive shoes that he
Mhm.
want. Put it
Mhm.
all in your notes and make sure you give him that
Mhm.
unsolicited daily or
Hey,
very, very frequently.
there it is. There it
Men
is.
don't
I
want to
hope we helped
ask.
you on with that. Listen, and I want you to send me a DM and let me know how the date went. I want to know what you did. I want to know how it went, and I want to know what the type of tricks you turned in that bedroom after you took that man on that
It's
date.
hard to be a cheater when you're exhausted.
Hey, talk about it. Talk about it. That's some true for y'all. If they empty, where they going? Where they going? He tired. He tired. So Davey 919 asks, are these questions only about monogamous relationships? They're not. They're about relationships in general.
But the
So
structure is all the same. Like it just depends on whether you want
yes,
structure. If you don't want structure, if you
yes.
want structure and you're dating, there has to be some structure and some type of structure in place in order for it to be sustainable. If you just farting
Mm-hmm.
around and you just getting your body count up, then that ain't no relationship. So yeah, you do what you do.
Oh wow, people sharing some stories on here.
What they say?
Um, I don't, I don't. I'm gonna mess your name up. It looks like Drea Sharice.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it says that some men, I guess they're saying that something is just out of this world with some men, that the grandfather stepped out on the grandmother and had a child. The mother threw a brick through the grandmother's window. So, did that experience change your outlook on relationships? That's what I want to know. Um,
What?
childhood trauma, is that childhood or is that adult trauma? I don't know what level that is for you, but hurt really does shape and mold your perspective on how to operate in relationships. And sometimes it's not even your own hurt, it's the hurt that you've seen happen in relationships before you, whether it's your mom, your dad, grandma, granddad, aunties, whomever is important in your life. So it's important to, when you begin to navigate this life and you're trying to figure out what you want, don't bring other people's baggage with you. Don't. You can maybe look at the situations that came before you as life lessons and maybe how to and how not to respond to certain situations. But I hope that you didn't carry that notion of what your granddad did to your grandma over into how you then perform or behave in relationships. I
And
hope not.
it's unhealthy to make idols out of mortal people. Because even with seeing trauma, you have a chance to change your generation. Like if you know you
Mhm.
come from a generation of family members who nobody got married, you have a chance to change that. But you have to do the work and not rely on this is what I'm used to. Because the
Mhm.
love that I'm experiencing, my parents been together almost 50 years, but the love I'm experiencing, I've never seen
Mhm.
before. Even though I've seen my parents be loved, they do functionally
Right.
dysfunctional. They together, they do what they do. They argue, curse each other out, and lay in the same bed. That's what they do. But for me, I don't want that. I don't want to survive. I want to thrive. And again, like I said, the love I'm living, I created that because I saw it in my head. And literally, we're having this conversation because you had a vision of I want to talk to people about
Mhm.
relationships, love, and sex on a platform. You saw it in your head, and it's coming to life. Like you and I didn't know each other before you had this vision, so now it's
Mhm.
like your vision came to life because you saw it in your head. So if you see negativity in your head and you speaking prenup before you get married, if you're expecting to get hurt, if you're expecting everybody to treat you a certain kind of way, if you say all men are trash or all women are trash or men are toxic and men are dogs, you're going to attract all that to your life. So you keep that broke talk, you're going to stay broke.
So let's talk about that for a second. Um, Everybody sees what people can kind of go through when a divorce comes, and then you've had the prenup, and it either didn't fly or was going to fly. It's a lot that happens. You see all these things play out, typically with couples on a much higher level than myself. But do you really think that having a prenup says that I'm already prepared in my mind for this to end?
Uh, I think the bottom line is money won't make you happy. Jeff Bezos just got a divorce. Kanye just filed for divorce. Both of them are billionaires. So if you have a billion and you don't have somebody to share it with and keep you grounded and love you, like what difference does a prenup make? Like what
Mm-hmm.
if you sign one? Like I don't know. I could be foolish for not having one. You know what I'm saying? Even now, I don't have one with my wife. I could be foolish, but I'm hoping for the best, you know what I'm saying? But I will take care of her either way. You know what I'm saying? But if you plan to lose, then that's usually what happens.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Now, granted, I didn't build a huge empire by myself. Like, she's a part of it, and I'm including her in it, which is why you see me on Thursday nights with my wife. Like, she's a part of what I'm doing. So I intentionally want to include her in my life. One, for accountability. Two, you can never say you didn't know I was married. And three, like, I just feel like the team is better than just trying to do stuff by myself, and it's exhausting to do stuff
Mm.
by yourself. So it's just your perspective on life. If you're a negative person, you're gonna play it safe. You're gonna that matter of fact, if you want to play it safe, you don't want to be in love. You don't want
Mm.
to be if you want to play it safe and get a prenup, whatever. You don't even want to do relationship because love requires you to be real. Love requires you to be vulnerable, to be naked, to be unguarded in any kind of way to get the love you say you want because you want people to treat you like that. You want them to put their cards down. But if you want to be loved with short arms and people give you what they want you to see, like that's what the love you'll
Mm.
get. But when you do, there's no, like I mentioned this before, I said there's no intimacy without vulnerability. There's no
Yeah.
relationship without letting your guard down. So if you want to play safe, and again, I call it broke talk. If you want to stay broke and keep talking broke, you're going to have an
Hey.
audience for that. But when you try to do this life and be an adult with somebody, the room is small. There's not a lot of people in here. It's a two-seater.
Mm.
It's a two-seater car, and you're going to have a few friends that are trying to do it right, but it's not the popular route. And then you got to deal with yourself every day. That's why love is hard. You got to deal with yourself. Ain't no days off. You got to deal with yourself in some kind of way because the person that you love is going to show you a part of you that you didn't know that was there. And every day you get no days off. And that's why love is hard. It's work.
Hey, you got to deal with you.
Don't nobody want to do that.
Listen.
It's easy to say all men are toxic and deal with yourself. It's so much easier.
You know, I think people really overlook how happy they have to be with themselves first and how much you got to love yourself first before you can just even be out here putting all this into other people, putting all this into your spouse, your kids, your everybody else. That's just the reality. That's just the reality. We put ourselves on the back burner and expect all these things to fall into place. But sometimes that's the very foundation that things are built on. It's not always what you built with that person. It's what was already solid in you first for you to even have a leg to stand on to begin to build with somebody else. So if you're not solid in you first, what you doing? What you doing?
You just got somebody to blame for your stuff. And you still got to deal with you. So you
Hey,
can get married several times and still not resolve the issue and
and
keep
that's
blaming
true.
them.
But you know what? And another word that you used that I thought was so important was accountability. And I get
That's a curse word
having,
in this culture.
but it's the reality. It's one thing that I think people need to put that, they need to have that in their vocabulary maybe more so than platform, because I'm all tired of hearing that word. More so than all these other things that we throw around that just sound good at the moment. But to be able to, one, have somebody in your life that helps you to be accountable. The thing is, they're helping you to be accountable. They're not doing it for you. You still have to be accountable for your own mess. And whether your mess is good mess or bad mess. You know what I mean? You have to be able to own it. You have to be able to recognize it. You have to be able to fix it, repair it, build upon it. Like, I think it's so much that I feel like people went through in 2020 that you should have come out of 2020 with such better perspective just on life and yourself. If you didn't have time to sit down and really have a better understanding of yourself following 2020, what was you doing? Because half of y'all wasn't going to work. What were you doing if you didn't take time to really reevaluate and have some self-reflection? You know what I mean? Granted, nobody on this earth is perfect, especially not T.Graye. But I can tell you that going into the pandemic and coming out of the pandemic, I learned so much about me. I really did. I learned so much about me. And it's almost to the point that I was almost ashamed, because it was like, why didn't I figure this out sooner? Why didn't I see this sooner? But I needed to have a clear mind, a blank slate, or something, another place to start from. And it's like, oh, dang, T, you've been doing this all this time. You've been talking to people this kind of way. You've been, oh, you got to get it together. Like, I came out of 2020 with a better understanding of self, with a better understanding of what I wanted for me, what I needed to attract, what I needed to be putting out into the world to attract. Like, patience, I didn't have none of that. It's tremendous now. Like, I'm almost in all other people say something like, oh, you know what I mean? They notice a difference. That same aspect, those same things could be applied to you and finding love and everything else. You should have really spent some time putting your unpacking your shit and putting it back together where it belongs, so that even if you're newly seeking love, or even if you're already in it but you need to be better, here's where I've repaired me. So here's what I can present to you. And one question that I always tell people when you're in relationships or when you're starting relationships is one thing that you should ask that is super, super important. Ask of you, the person that you're interested in, but also ask of yourself. If you take away the sex and you take away the money, what is it that you bring to the table that no other person can? So for a woman, what is it that you bring to the table that no other woman can do? Period. No other woman can. And for the man, the same thing. You take away the money, take away the sex. What is it that you got, that you offer, that you have, that no other man possess? You know what I mean? Find out what your gift is. And then you'll have a much better understanding of who you are and of what you seek and of what to appreciate when it gets together. When you seek out the right thing and you have the right thing, you'll have a better understanding of it.
I got so many thoughts going through my head right now. So one
Look,
is
I'm surprised you didn't have your pen and paper.
I wrote down some notes, but first of all, I want to
Every
say
time you start talking out here, right?
no. I'm really happy for you because whatever you've been through, and I feel like you feel lighter than our first conversation. I don't know what happened or what, like you
Because,
feel lighter.
hey,
It's a
Ron G
great
fixed
thing.
my life, y'all. Y'all don't understand. You all will have to go back, go to my YouTube, go to my
Hilarious.
IGTV, and watch our interview. But you did. You hit on some stuff that hit home, and I had to get it together. I'm not
Okay,
gonna lie to you. You were a very big motivator in me repairing me.
so
Very big.
salute to you. Let me give you this prophetic thing that I feel like God is telling me. So one is I don't know what happened, but you do feel lighter. You feel more clear. You feel more confident. You feel more like this is your platform. You're supposed to do this, and we're supposed to have this conversation to meet each other, so you can tell other women about your journey and what you went through to become who you are. Because I believe you're gonna. I don't know if you have your person. We don't talk about your situation, but if you have your person, if you don't, you're closer than you were before because you have space to give. You have room for him and your stuff too. Before, I feel like you didn't have enough room for your stuff and trying to include somebody else. But now I see you've unpacked. I can feel it, whatever it is. I feel like you've
Mm-hmm.
unpacked. But the blessing
Mm-hmm.
in that is too, the conversations you and I are having, this should be normal to you. This is accountability to yourself. This is the accountability to yourself part. So when you
Mm-hmm.
meet somebody and you don't feel your spirit getting fed and you don't feel like your intellectual thing is not getting fed, you'll know that it's not right because this is your normal. This should be your normal. So
Mm-hmm.
also when he comes into your life, your accountability to him is like checking in with him and like having grown folk conversation daily. So if he does mess up and he come home and it don't feel right, it'll be more obvious and more prevalent because you're holding him accountable because you're strengthening your own mind. Do you get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yes.
the
Yes.
conversation you and I having, this is normal for me and my wife. We talk like this all the time. But
Mm-hmm.
if she was ever having some grown folk conversation, I'm quiet, she'd be like, either you depressed or you got something else going on. Like she would know based on my response. So this is your normal. So I'm glad that you graduated to this level because
Mm-hmm.
he got to be accountable to whatever. And so this goes back to accountability. So a few things. I'm gonna give women a cheat sheet to help you with the accountability part with a man. If you have established that you're close and you like him, ask him two questions. One, when y'all pillow talking, ask him, "Hey, are you happy?" Like just ask him, like, "Are you happy?" And he'll be like, "What do you mean?" Like, no, literally, are you happy with me? It gives him open an open platform that's not like, you better not be cheating. It'd be like, yo, tell me like what you thinking. Hopefully,
Mm-hmm.
if he's adult enough and y'all consider yourself best friends or whatever people say when they first meet people, like we're best, like you got to build up to that. Ask him like, are you happy? Secondly, ask him, do you like me?
Mm.
Do
Do
you
you
like me?
like
Like I
me?
know you love me. Me and my wife talk about it all the time. I said, look, I know you love me, but do you like me? Because sometimes I feel like she don't like me, and she be mad at me about stuff I do. And I'm like, are you? And then later on, I found like she got something else going on, but I didn't know. But I had to unpack it through asking, hey, do you like me? And then eventually she'd be like, well, I'm going through this, and I told you 2 weeks ago. I'm like, that was 2 weeks ago. I ain't think about that now. Like I didn't know. You know what I'm
Right,
saying? So
right.
are you happy? And do you like me? And that's a great way to like disarm him and ask him the questions that you need and get to the dialogue you need to have while you with him. Because I feel like it's not so straightforward. Like, you happy here? Like, no, it's like, are you happy? And it'll disarm him completely because nobody asked you that. Nobody want to know if you're happy in a relationship. They just assume everything right because it's quiet. And then, do you like me? Do you like me is a very specific question. You know what I'm saying? And then this is my other one. This one will always get to him. Ask him how's his heart.
There it is.
Those are very
Writing
kind,
it down.
considerate, wifey questions that the average woman won't ask you. If you ask a man how is his heart, he gonna be so thrown off and disarmed, like he ain't gonna know what to do with himself. But ask him like, how's his heart? Because black men, we go through so much stuff, and just to have somebody in your space that care about how your heart is rare. Like it doesn't happen. My mama don't
Mm-hmm.
ask me that. She can tell by my tone, but like he done had a rough day. He's sitting on the couch, you playing in his hand, you like, how's your heart? He will be so disarmed and he ain't gonna know what to do with it. But that's how you build intimacy with the person you like without forcing him, saying he ain't opening up. Like if you give him an opportunity to open up, then he'll do it. But if you never give him an opportunity, you just assume everything right because he's quiet. Um, yeah, like that's the accountability part to your person. Y'all should have this kind of grown folk pillow talk every day. And again, if you just enjoy him buying you a bag and he ain't acting a fool and
Mm-hmm.
he come home and go to sleep, then that's your relationship. But real adults, they do intimacy. They have hard conversation. They talk like this every day and check in with each other. That's how you build friendship.
Mm. Listen, you hit on so many things. So you guys, we are talking love, relationships, sex. If you all have any questions, feel free to drop them in the question box, or you can put them in the comments. I prefer they go in the question box so everybody can see your question. Um, those are three important questions that I do know that most women don't think to ask. I do know.
And
Um,
they're transferable to men too. If a man asks a woman that, bro, you get the best version of her. Ask a woman how's her heart.
and
Ask a black
so
woman how's her heart. Ask her is she happy, and ask her does she like you. Let me tell you something. You will get a side of her you ain't never seen before because nobody asked that. Those are the basic questions that you want to ask somebody, but we never do it because we package it and a bunch of other stuff.
So one thing about building intimacy with a person,
Mm-hmm.
I know a lot of times when people hear that word, they automatically think sex, but 9 times out of 10, sex is the furthest thing from a person's mind when they're thinking about true intimacy and what it is to them. But there are a lot of tools that you can use in order to build intimacy. But one of the biggest tools is conversation. One of the biggest tools is being able to speak freely and to be listened to freely. Um, it can break down barriers. You know what I mean? It can also has the power to build up some. So you do have to be cautious in what you say and how you say, but it's one of the most intimate things. A conversation is one of the most intimate things you can have with another person, allowing them to just release, to just let go, be themselves, not be judged. I know a lot of times when we go into situations, whether it be relationships and even sometimes in marriages, people can be judgmental. We have this notion of what we think everything is supposed to look like and be like, smell like, taste like. And so if you're not falling in line with that, then now I'm in a place of judging you. But sometimes you got to remove that judgmental spirit from being able to have a conversation, being able to listen. And then when you aren't in those phases when you can't talk, your levels of intimacy are probably at zero. They're going to drop to zero for every other
Mm-hmm.
aspect of the relationship. Like I feel like that piece is just so important. On the Love Below, I talk a lot about how important communication is when it comes to sex. But forget that piece. That piece is just a bonus later. If you can't get past going into the relationship, or moving from dating into the relationship, or moving from just the regular relationship into marriage, what difference does it make? You know what I mean? The communication has to be on point from Jump Street. The being able
Mm-hmm.
to be intimate in my inside is in my soul. How are you going to get there? How are you going to learn who I am as a person if you don't talk to me, if you don't listen?
Mm-hmm.
So, you guys don't miss that part. Don't miss that wave. You know what I mean? It's okay to meet, date, not have sex. It's okay. It's
Completely
okay
agree.
to wait. It's okay to wait. It's okay to be in love before you even see the person naked. It's okay. It's okay to be comfortable enough to say I love you because you're in love with everything that person is before the intimacy on that level, before the sexual intimacy even begins. It's okay. I don't know, sometimes you all probably tell yourself, no, it's not, and I shouldn't wait, and ooh, I
That's
want
society
it.
pressures, man. Get out of here.
Yeah. Just don't let society dictate how you move and
You
how
got the
you
rest of your life to
operate.
do it 6 times a year. Six is it 60?
Hey, 62. That's
You
it.
got the rest of your life to do it 62 times a year.
62. And let me tell you, that ain't enough. Okay? Right?
Mm-hmm.
That ain't enough. But consider those things, you guys, when you're out here making these choices. Seriously. And I know it probably is like, oh, we grown. We know what we doing. No, y'all don't. No, y'all don't.
Nah. It's
No, y'all
like going
don't.
from a water gun to a real gun. Real gun to kill you. That water gun was fun at the time. Might mess your hair up, hurt a little feelings, but that real gun, it changed your life. Um, yeah, you said some really dope stuff, and the cool part is like now with all this information, information is scary because we all have information, but we don't have wisdom. And
Mm.
wisdom is there's no formula. Don't nobody know. Like I know people personally who waited till they got married and got a divorce because something happened and the other person didn't address it, let it build up for 7 years, and then they finally said it, but it became out so wrong and explosive, the person couldn't make it right. And in order for them to make it right, this person literally became God in their life, so they could never get over the hump. Versus like
Mm-hmm.
like if you waiting, do something with it. Like
Right.
you like now is the time to create intimacy and talk about those things. And there's no formula. But ladies, I'll give you this too, man. I think I mentioned this before too, but men are built for accountability.
Mm-hmm.
Like men are like you can tell if somebody's a solid man by the responsibility in their life. Most grown
Mm-hmm.
men have they're committed to something, whether it be their church, their family, like legit family. I ain't talking about like, oh, I'm trying to take care of my family, but you working, whenever, when you feel like it. I'm talking about like most grown men are built for accountability. They have some underlying loyalty to something bigger than them. You know what I'm saying? But if you're dating somebody, it's like the whole F boy thing. I think I mentioned that too. Like you talking about somebody a F boy, like that's on you. If he eat McDonald's every day, he ain't got no car, he live with his mama,
Mm-hmm.
and you have sex with him and he gets you pregnant, now you calling him an F boy? That's why I said dating
Yeah.
is important. If you hang out with his family know he ain't no good. His mama know he
Yeah.
ain't no good. But you ain't did the
Yeah.
research because you liked him and you was getting some good
Listen,
some good
she
thing.
knew
And
he
then
wasn't no good when she went over
his
there to his
mama
mama
know, but you
basement.
like, I don't feel like dating, and he treat. Let me tell you something. An F boy doesn't exist for a woman who like feels like you only deserve a certain type of man. The
Mm.
fact that you allow somebody who doesn't have a car and he doesn't have any type of purpose, he doesn't have a job, and he eat McDonald's every day to get you pregnant, that says more about you than him. Where's your accountability
Amen.
to yourself? Where's your
Amen.
accountability to yourself?
Talk
And
about it.
and then let's talk about dating out of loneliness. I hear about that a lot. I
Hey.
was lonely, so I went out to eat with him. Why? You could if you got. Let me tell you something. There's a cost and a price for everything. The cost
Mm-hmm.
is I'm gonna just go out to eat with this guy. I don't like him like that. The
Mm-hmm.
price is sorry. The price is what you think you're going to do. The cost is like you're creating feelings for somebody who don't have no off switch. Dudes are visual creatures. It's the same way with women. Like man, like if you know you ain't about that, man, stop playing with these women. Don't create an appetite in a woman that you can't sustain. That ain't right.
Then
That
there's
ain't
that.
right. I'm guilty of that.
Then
I
there's
know I'm
that.
guilty of that.
Let me write that down because you just spoke a word.
I'm guilty of that because I felt like before I met my wife, before I met my ex, I was a husband. I always functioned like a husband. I didn't small talk. I had answers for adult problems, but I would show up for the person because they was in my space, but I knew they weren't my person. And I would do all the things like, hey, look, I want to go to the movies. You want to come with me? Hey, I'm about to go grab something to eat. You want to come with me? Not a bad guy, but and I wouldn't like lie and be like I love you, nothing like that. But I did all the
Mm-hmm.
boyfriend stuff. I functioned like a husband, but they weren't my person, and that created an appetite where she's like, "You are my person," but they didn't give me a choice in it, and I know I created a monster because you can't give her. I got people here. I got give her the thing, and then show up like a boyfriend and be like, "That's my buddy." That would drive her crazy. That would drive
Indeed,
her
it would.
crazy.
Indeed, it would.
And I was
Indeed, it
responsible
would.
for that. As much as I want to be like, nah, I told her I wouldn't look for nothing and I was healing. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but she was good company. She wasn't a bad person. Like I enjoyed her company. She just wasn't my person.
Mm-hmm.
But we
Yeah.
all got to be accountable at a certain point. That's why for me, my dating became. I was celibate for a while too, and it wasn't more so about I'm trying to have this big religious movement. It was more so like
Mm-hmm.
I have a light and I can't share my light with everybody because that light is too strong for a woman who has never been seen or heard before.
Mm-hmm.
Like literally, like most women don't feel heard. Imagine, I just have an assumption. I feel like most women have not come from homes where they feel loved and protected, and the guy just hears them and not going anywhere. Like that feeling is intoxicating to somebody who has lack in their life. You know what I'm saying? And I would just show
Yeah.
up. I would always be there. They call me, even if it was about another dude. I'm like, hey, I'm here. What's up? What's up? You know what I'm saying? They wasn't my person, but I would be there for them. And
Right.
phone was always on, flat tire. I'm there, but it's tough.
Hey, so we have a question on the table. The original Queen Bee says she could teach a life lesson on relationships. What's your lesson, Queen Bee? What you gonna teach the folks?
What's she
What
talking
you
about?
gonna teach the folks? I don't know. You gotta expound on that a little bit. She
Did
said,
she
I'm
have a
not gonna
question?
give y'all a question. I'm gonna give y'all a statement.
Mm.
Understand who I am.
Mm.
I hear you, Queen Bee. Probably been through some things a time or two,
Hilarious.
Misa.
Hilarious.
So, what is the biggest thing that you feel like you've learned about yourself in your relationship?
For me, the hardest part about marriage is growing up while somebody's watching you. Like
Mm-hmm.
when God be making me deal with myself, like I feel like I don't get the luxury of taking. Some people can go in their marriage or their job and just go there, shut down, and do it for the rest of their life and not even check in. For me, he be making me work on myself so I can have conversations like this that don't always feel good because the lessons I'm learning to be able to tell you this stuff doesn't feel good. But he always be making me work on myself. Always, man. Even when
Mm-hmm.
like I tell my wife I don't like something she do. She will be like, well, I only did that because you did this to me and you didn't listen to me from the start, which is why I'm doing this to you. And I'm like, why didn't you say that at first? She was like, because when I tried to talk to you, you wouldn't listen. And I'm like, oh my God, this is my fault. And it'd be like my fault, but it's just ugly. And while God is like talking to you, this person is looking at you and you like, I feel like you're looking down on me and all pride and ego and shame and stuff like that. So or battling depression, like battling that while somebody's in your face. And, I spend a lot of time online and that creates depression and a bunch of other neurological stuff that I'm sure we don't know the long-term effects of it because social media is still new. But man, like just being an adult and somebody in your face while you dealing with yourself does not feel
Mm-hmm.
good
Yeah.
because ain't no days off. That's what marriage
Yeah.
is. For me, some people, they got all
No
the
days
answers. They don't
off.
know no better. So with me, I don't have all the answers and I want to be better.
So social media does play an impact in so many people's lives and relationships. And I really think that sometimes you have to be able to have the power to put the phone down. You have to have the power to cut it off. And I know it's hard, but for some people who live their life by what's happening in social media, or, they have to share every aspect of their life, or if somebody says something about your man, your woman, you first thing on it, you get the notification for anybody else do. I challenge you all to dial that back for 2021. Dial that back. You know what I mean? Just put your phone down for an hour a day, if not for anybody else, for yourself. If you allow social media to run your relationship, that should probably be an indicator that maybe you're not in a real relationship.
Hilarious.
I'm just saying.
I got a better one for you.
I ain't never had a relationship run by a robot.
I got a better one for you. Give it 48
What's it?
hours. Whatever the issue is, 48 hours, nobody, they on to the news cycle is so fast. 48 hours, nobody would care.
Yeah.
Literally nobody cares. 48 hours.
Yeah.
I had my own drama happen, and a day later, nobody talked about it because something else big happened. And it's like, yo, like, what? You in that moment, you feel like life is over, but then
Right.
you realize again, people just want to talk. They're gonna talk about Dr. King. They're gonna talk about Hitler forever. No matter
Yeah.
who you are, they're gonna talk about you. Give them 48 hours. Put your phone down. Don't read the comments.
Mm-hmm.
Stay out of the comment
Mm-hmm.
section. Go live your life and
Yeah.
come back and see how you feel.
Yeah. Yeah. That you guys, that rings true for business and personal stuff. But put it down for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Like it drives me insane when I'm in a conversation with somebody, and it's, did you see what so and so said? And they scrolling, people having whole fights. What? You breaking up with somebody because they done tagged somebody else and somebody's. Yo, y'all got to get it together. Y'all got to get it together. I understand the obligation for some people. I'm in a business, I'm in media, I have an obligation to social media. I have to post and or interact X amount of times, per day to keep numbers. It's a numbers game for people who use social media for business. It's a numbers game. I'm not using it to dictate my relationship and how I operate in it. So that's just my challenge for you all who do that. If you all who are going to dinner and the only thing you can look at is your phone instead of your partner, like that aggravates me when I go out and it's people at a table who are like this the whole time. You don't look up at the person across the table. You're not having a conversation. Like, get out of that. Don't let social media dictate how you function in real life, in your relationship lives, because to be honest with you, it's only going to be to your detriment. It's okay to put it down. It's
And the
okay. And
truth
like
is,
you said,
nobody
whatever's going
cares.
on,
Whatever you're
nobody.
nobody. Let me tell you something. You know people that got canceled and back already because I don't know who is keeping the running list of cancellations
Hey,
in the black
I know I'm
community.
not.
I don't know who's keeping the running list, but the people that have been canceled, they back. They done put another album out. They done made another song. They back on TV shows, and it's like the point. What's the point of canceling somebody? Because my critique about this is if you're gonna cancel a celebrity for doing something, cancel your family members for doing the same thing. Cancel your
They
mama for being
down.
toxic. Cancel your brother for being a womanizer. Cancel your uncle for being a pervert. Cancel everybody.
Mm.
Cancel your family too. Because you know these people, the same characteristics you canceling celebrities for, cancel your family for it too. And I'm talking about for real cancel. Don't call them. Don't show up at events. I'm talking about cancel them. Because for some reason, celebrities ain't real to you. Like you could talk about them and bash them on social media because they ain't got no real face. But the people that's in your family, cancel them too. Because you know your mama
Yo,
toxic. You know your mama toxic.
that is so true. We be so quick. We be so quick, and then we running down facts of stuff for places we ain't never been, ain't never seen, ain't never gone to, but we got the facts.
Question: how many girls you knew in high school dated older men when you was in high school?
All of them.
The pretty girl in high school always dated some dude with a whole beard that drove
When I
a
was in
Mitsubishi
high
Galant. He
school,
drove a
when I was
Mitsubishi Galant.
16, you guys, I was engaged to a dude that was 22. Okay, so look, I'm not a good example.
But listen, what I'm saying is everybody knew it and nobody said nothing.
Right, right,
Nobody said nothing because
right.
nobody said nothing. But again, if it's a celebrity did the same thing, oh, they trying to crucify them
Oh,
for doing the
oh yeah.
same thing
Oh
that
no, the world
everybody
is
in your
over.
family do.
The
Everybody
world is
knows
over.
somebody like everybody know a womanizer. Everybody know a dude that get a bunch of chicks and like the other dude hang out with him. Like everybody know this dude. Everybody know the
Right,
uncle
right.
that you don't leave your kids around. Like you know this guy.
Hmm.
So stop acting like celebrities are the only people to do the stuff that you trying to cancel people for.
Right. Most definitely. I think that is one thing that, it's easier to be wrapped up into somebody else's life instead of looking at self. That's easier. We're going to shine this light on all this, what everybody else is doing, so that nobody can see my dirty laundry. Nobody can see the skeletons I have in the closet. Nobody can see this real shame that I deal with. No, you can't see that if I'm so busy talking about everything else that's going on.
Mm-hmm.
But see, that's why I feel like people are so wrapped up into what Lori Harvey's doing, what B. Simone said, what what's his name? Dr. Dre's ex-wife was going through with this divorce. Like, it has to be something that keeps me engaged, because maybe my own divorce is pitiful. Maybe I'm 24, but I'm not dating anybody. Maybe, I do have some of these issues and I'm not willing to address them. And I can't get a guy that want me with nothing. Like, y'all gotta do better. And it's okay to know that you gotta do better. Sometimes it's more, not sometimes, all the time, it's more strength in dealing with your own mess than it is to pass it off on somebody else, than it is to focus on another person's whatever. It's
That
okay to
requires
say
work.
that
Who's trying to
I'm
do
not
that?
perfect, that I'm not where I need to be or where I want to be. That's fine. Acknowledge it. But you make some changes in yourself so that you get better, so that you do better, so that you see better in yourself. Like, you don't have to be ran around by what's happening in the world. You don't. You don't. You don't got to go get your boobs done because everybody else got their boobs done. You don't
Man,
got to go get a tummy tuck because everybody else got one. You ain't got to get your ass done because that's just what you see. To be honest with you, most dudes I know say the fake ass don't hit the same anyway. Be quite honest. That's what they say. They say it
that's
don't hit the
funny.
same. So the
And girls with
reality of
fake
it
butts get
is,
cheated on too, by the way.
hey, if Beyonce could get cheated on, anybody can get cheated on. Okay, let me
Hmm.
just tell y'all that now. It's people got a whole Cardi B, a whole stripper at home. She still get cheated on. But that doesn't
If
make
WAP
anybody
ain't good
stay with
enough,
you.
what else is?
But I'm just saying that don't make anybody stay with you. So just keep that part in mind. Don't let social media run your life. Don't let it run your life with your prerequisites on yourself and what you need to be. And don't let it run it once you get in a relationship. You don't have to put all your business out there. Some of the happiest relationships, some of the most thriving, long lasting, 20, 30 plus years, because they're not posting everything for everybody to see. They
Mm.
keep a level of secrecy because that's what makes them happy. That's what's important to them. That's how they stay whole. You know what I mean? You don't have to be a slave to social media. And that's including the people who are in media, who are on stage. You don't have to be a slave to social media because that's a choice.
Mm.
It's a choice. It's a choice. And don't make the choice just because you want to have a distraction from what you're dealing with at home.
You over there trying to make sense?
I'm just saying. I had
Over
to
there
bring it back
making
around.
sense? Mm.
I'm just
Mm.
saying I had to bring it back around. Yo, this live is so long. I thought they was gonna cut me off. We still go.
I got another 10 minutes. I got another 10.
You got that 10 minutes. But what is there anything you want to add? Anything you want to say? Anything you want to ask me before
uh,
we wrap this up?
I don't know if I'm allowed to ask you, but I can.
You can ask me anything. Yeah, I'm
So, are you
super
currently dating
transparent.
somebody now? Okay, all right, all right. Is it new? Oh, God, you smiling? Okay, cool. I don't, because I don't small talk, so I don't want to go too much in your business unless you want to share. But whatever it is, I'm happy for you. Like the smile you got on your face, whatever it is, and
I'm
whatever it was,
laughing.
I'm happy about it.
Listen, I'm laughing at the comments. Nita
What?
B said Beyonce getting cheated on as a poor example. I was just
How's that a poor
joking around
example?
with that. Just joking around with that. But I mean, the reality of it is when you look at what society says is a 10 or is close to, whatever. She's gorgeous, she's smart, she's about a business,
How's
she
that a
has her
bad
own
example?
money, she does her own thing. So any woman who is together on the outside, okay, on the outside, the notion is, why would you cheat on this person? Because this person has it all together. So that's why I used her as an example. But the reality of it is, even chick like me, I've been cheated on, but I've also cheated on people. That was my history. You know what I mean? That's not the person that I am today.
All right.
So, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not on the same level. I still think I'm cute. I still got my own shit. I still got my own
Mm-hmm.
money. I'm still smart. I'm still funny. I'm still all these things. And I take men on dope ass dates as my examples were given earlier.
Hey,
So
so buddy. I have a
And
question.
I got that walk.
I
So it's
have
like it doesn't really matter. You know what I
I have a
mean?
question for you.
Yes.
What's different about this one?
God. Put God first.
You or him?
Both.
Great answer. Great answer.
It's the truth.
Man. So was that not a requirement before? Or something you kind of overlooked before?
It was something that I overlooked before.
Mm-hmm.
Um, kind of stumbled upon it when I got married. And when I say stumbled, I really mean that
Mm-hmm.
because what even led me to the
I
church
don't know your
was
past either,
being,
by the way.
I'm about to break it down,
Okay.
but what led me to even being in the church, it was getting cheated on by my spouse.
That's usually how it
Like,
happens. That gets you down to
like
the
the
altar real
hurt,
fast.
yeah, like the hurt so bad. Like it was like, who else could I possibly turn to? And at that time of my life, God wasn't always my first answer. Okay. So then fast forward to the end of that, I left the church,
Mm-hmm.
not because of that relationship, but I left. Didn't necessarily lose what I feel or what I think about God and my relationship with God. I did not.
Mm-hmm.
But when it came back around to having an opportunity to have something, um, it just was so important to me to see that and see that first because I hadn't put God first in any of the other decisions that I made relationship wise my entire life. So it's like,
Mm.
what do I have to lose by doing it? So
Mm.
that's what I did. And I didn't go out looking. He wasn't out looking. Um, just happened to cross paths and happened to have the same perspective and the same relationship with God. And then
This is the part that the people need to see. This it. We waited this whole conversation for this part right here. This the part right here, man. I'll add this too. Even when I met my wife, and I'm sure you probably seen this on video. You don't have to be perfect when you meet somebody because I know that people like you got to be, one hole and one hole makes one hole, whatever the BS thing they tell you in church. You don't have to be 100% perfect when you meet somebody. You just got to be willing. You have to be open, and this is how you know you really healed when give the person that you are meeting the same opportunity to hurt you that the person that hurt you did.
mm,
That's how you know when you're ready to get back in this dating game. Because if you still living off old pain and you ain't updated your software and you're still on your business card is
yeah,
your business card is your pain, you ain't ready to
yeah,
love. Because
that's real.
your love is too small for the love you say you want. And I learned this too. All the drama in my marriage, all the dysfunction we had in my marriage was because me staying too long in my previous. It had nothing to do with her. But I stayed too long with somebody I wasn't supposed to be with, which created resentment, pain, a bunch of other stuff. And I brought it
Mm-hmm,
into my marriage. And I didn't know. My wife
mm-hmm,
called me on it. But
mm-hmm,
again, she just built different. So my point is when you meet somebody new, and it's not even for you, but just whoever, when you meet somebody new, um, you don't have to be perfect, but just be aware and give yourself grace and give the person you're meeting grace to be in your space and learn you. Because again, like I said, if you got secrets, you got a lifetime of secrets that this person don't know about you. They ain't supposed to know what's in your head in 6 months. It takes time to figure that stuff out. You know what I'm saying? The things that make you
mm-hmm,
happy, things that make you sad, the triggers. Like my wife see how I am with me and her. She see me how I am with my fans, and she see how much I've shrink sometimes when I go back home around my family. Like what that
mm-hmm,
feels like. She's seen all that. She's like, whoa, I ain't never
mm-hmm,
seen this out of you. I'm like, yeah, I grew up in some trauma stuff, but now it's like I got out of it, but I'm aware of it, and I give myself grace, and she gives me grace too. So you don't have to be perfect to meet your person. Just keep that heart open. And like I said, if you give the person that you're meeting, give them the same opportunity to hurt you as the person that changed the way you loved it.
amen. So we're going to take just our last question.
Let's do it.
And okay, so
And
that wasn't a
congrats to you, by the
legit.
way.
Oh, thank you, baby.
Super happy for you.
This isn't even a question I could teach lessons on 90 Day Fiance. Listen,
That's the
which
same
I'm
one?
not gonna do. Which I'm not gonna do is come off in my live making these statements.
Let's get a question though. Let's see if we can find a question.
There wasn't a question. That was a
Oh
statement.
Lord. Oh
Is
Lord.
it, is it okay to date exclusively for a year without putting a title? I think it's okay to date exclusively for as long as
That
you're
title
okay with.
sounds confusing, by the way.
Yeah,
Make it clear. Exclusive for a
yeah.
year without dating other people. That sounds very complicated and you asking for headaches. If it ain't clear and if y'all didn't agree
But
on it, but
see, here's the thing about exclusivity that maybe for me, I feel like it's so great. Exclusivity is like I'm your girlfriend, but I'm not your girlfriend.
I don't know what that means.
Like,
Men
like
don't do men
you're
like that.
getting, you know what I mean? Like you're getting all girlfriend stuff. You're getting girlfriend attention. You're getting girlfriend time. You're getting girlfriend conversation. You know what I mean? But I'm still not your girlfriend. Like that. So that part to me, you guys, is super, super confusing. When people say we're dating and then we're dating exclusively. Okay, well, if I'm not dating nobody else, I'm your girlfriend then. So that
Yeah.
part of that part to me, but again, I mean that's a conversation that has to be had. What that really means to each person needs to be discussed. What the rules are. Like I feel like all of these phases should come with rules. Like if I'm dating you exclusively and the next stage is for me to be your girlfriend, there should be something to look forward to in that next stage that you're not getting at this point that you don't have access to. So I guess however much access you choose to give that person for however long. If you feel like a year is too long for you and you want to change their level of access, do they want their level of access to be changed? And if not, are you okay with it? Like, like that's is that part, you guys. Like to put a time frame on it, it's different for different people. My sister, use her as an example, been dating somebody for 4 years. Dating 4 years. On the outside looking in, that sounds crazy. On the inside, she's having the time of her life.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, who am I to say, you know what I mean? Oh, this person should make you theirs or should, establish some level of commitment or you all should move to the next level. That has something that has to be mutually agreed upon between both parties. One party can't be on one page and the other person be at the end of the book. That doesn't work.
And
It
ladies,
doesn't work.
ask the question that you want to answer. Don't beat around the if you're unsure about something, ask the question. Like if he don't say nothing, I would say assume that you're not dating. But if he says something, say, look, are we exclusive? And if he says whatever, say okay. Because that means you're not exclusive. And keep dating.
Yeah.
And don't be afraid to keep dating. I know sometimes again, like I said, I know homegirls that would pull up the handbrake and be like, I don't want to be an emotional whore because I invested my time in this person. If y'all ain't in a relationship, you're still single. If he don't make it
Yeah.
clear, you're still single. So yeah, that's very tricky.
It
I had somebody
is.
do me like that too. This girl I was messing with, we had fun. And she was like, well, look, I can't do this with other people. So I want us to be exclusive in that area, but you ain't got to be my man. And I was like, that sounds confusing and that's not going to happen.
Yeah. Grand Diva said she dated her husband for 10 years. Hey? And you was probably happy, kicking it, enjoy yourself. Like I've struggled with that myself. Like just wanting to reach a certain level of commitment. But the reality of it is I ain't ready for it. So what am I tripping off of? Like
Yeah.
sometimes your feelings, because women are more fueled by feeling than um than our thought process is like your feelings make you feel like, oh, I gotta have that. But
Your
no,
feelings are
take a second,
unreliable.
think on a logical playing field. Logically, do you really want that? Are you really ready for that? You know, is this person ready? Because if they're not, are y'all on the same page? Like, don't rush it. What is the rush? I know some of you feel like, okay, well, we could die tomorrow. You right, but you could have died yesterday and you didn't, bitch. So what you tripping for?
You could have died in the womb, but you made it. You here now.
Right.
So
Like,
funny.
slow down. It's okay to take your time. And so I had mentioned earlier that it's okay to not have sex initially, that's okay too. Like, people look at waiting as an issue. But if you wait and really get to know the person, you might, first off, get to know you. But if you wait and get to know the person, you might find out a little bit more than what you ever would have did if sex was ever introduced.
Man,
And then,
you like, you're
so
trash as
here's
a
my
person.
theory, you guys. This is going to be my coffee table book. If you steal my idea, I'm going to fucking know that you did it. So my theory is it takes 2 years to even know if you want to be with the person. At least 2 years. The first 6
That's for
months
women?
is the fluff. Period. Just at least. That's at the smallest amount.
Okay.
First 6 months is the fluff. Okay, that's the whoever I'm presenting myself to be. Whoever you're presenting yourself to be, it looks great, sounds nice. That next 6 months is me letting down my guard a little bit. So now you're getting some of the real me. Okay, now you're seeing that here are my faults. Here's some of my antics. Here's some of my qualms. Here's some of the things about me that maybe aren't so perfect. I didn't want to show you in the beginning, but oh, I'm comfortable now. Here they are.
Mm-hmm.
That next 6 months is now you got this. Now you got my flaws meeting your flaws, and they got to see if they match, if they don't match, if they compliment, don't compliment. Can I stand it, not stand it? Do you stink? Do your breath? Like, whatever it is, that's that part. That last 6 months of that part is, okay, I respect that. It's having a level of respect. Understanding that, okay, yeah, here you are with your flaws, and I still accept you. Yeah, here I am with mine, and I'm accountable for my mess. So, we're still cool. You know what I mean? Like, and then when you throw intimacy in there along the way, you got to account for that time. You got to account for the time that is going to cloud your judgment. You got to account for the time that you're not going to think straight because you're more focused on that. That adds to it. You know what I mean? So it takes a while, in my opinion. It takes a while. Now, whether or not you should move past dating to boyfriend and girlfriend to you exclusive, you not, whatever the case may be, if you all on the same page, by all means, enjoy that page. But if you're not, get there first. Don't be rushing to the finish line when the other person hasn't even started the race. Don't do that. And that's for men and women. Don't do that.
I want to add to what she said. I don't know about the 2-year mark for men because I don't think it takes that long for men to know if you are a person. But 2 things you should ask yourself when you're dating or in the early stages and you haven't committed. First question, ask, can I see myself raising kids with this person? Just whatever that feeling pops up in your head when you ask yourself that while you watching them chew funky and they show up late and they complain about life. Say, can I see myself raising a kid with this person? And also ask yourself, is this sustainable? Ask yourself, whatever their quirk is, they come home drunk and you see they get loud and they turn into a different person when they drunk, or they smoke all the time and you see habits and the consistent habit of they don't play it all the way out. Is this sustainable? And if your answer is, I don't think this is sustainable, or my heart, you get like a feeling that triggers your, baby good?
So mommy's still on the line.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay, babe. It's all right, baby.
Mm-hmm. It's all right, baby. It's all good. It's all good. I said, one, if you feel like there's some stuff that they stir up in you that doesn't settle your heart, and it happens often, ask yourself, is this sustainable? And also, while you dealing with them and you see how they argue and you like, yo, you go for the kill when you argue. Do you want your kids to be around that kind of environment? Like, look at that. Or when they go through their rough patch, how do they get through their dark times? Do they drink a lot? They smoke more? Do they disappear on you? They shut down? Like, that's what your marriage look like. But you live with this person and y'all sharing assets. So are they the mother, father of my child? And is this sustainable?
Hey, that's important. That's important, you guys. I hope y'all take that. We're going to let it lay right there. Okay. Brother, Bishop, Pastor Ron has spoke.
You're so funny. Brother, Bishop, Pastor.
Brother, Bishop, Pastor. We're going to pass the collection plate around right about now.
Ooh. If I could sing, ooh, won't he do it? Won't it not?
We're going to cash up him at $sign to shape up his mind.
That's so funny. It's so
So
funny.
I hope you all have enjoyed. I hope you all, if you haven't or weren't a fan of comedian Ron G before tonight, damn it, you should be. So
It's so funny.
make sure
Thank you so much, man.
that
You be
you
buttering me
follow
up.
my guy. Because if he's not going to do nothing else, you guys, he's going to make you laugh. Never ending laughs. Okay, let's start there. Him and his wife Manal, my beautiful new crush, they have the couples couch every week. They're streaming here. You guys do that on YouTube
We do it
and
on
on.
Instagram right now. I think we're going to switch it over to YouTube soon. But yeah, follow us every Thursday, 7 p.m. Couples Couch. We may change for the next few weeks because we got some birthdays, festivities coming up. But just follow me, comedian Ron G, and I will post all the details. And every Sunday we do Virtual Chocolate Sundays, which is the dopest, longest running, most diverse comedy show in the nation. We do it via Zoom, and we have a full after party. Super dope comedy show, man. If you love comedy, love to laugh, stop by, check it out. And then on Wednesday nights we do Comedy Gurus, which is myself and my buddy Tehran. We do in Clubhouse. But anyway, I put all the information on my Instagram. Check it out, super dope. Also, T.Graye, I'm proud of you. I'm happy for where you at. I'm grateful to watch the transformation, and I'm really proud of you. And I can't wait to meet this fellow, man. I can't. I feel like I
Oh.
met his spirit already, even though I haven't met him. Because I'm looking at the way you smiling now, and I'm like, yo, he different. He different. So I can't wait, man. Maybe y'all can do the couples couch soon.
Hey, I'm all for fun.
I know, but
I'm
like when
all
y'all ready,
for
when y'all know each other enough, and y'all feel like y'all can answer questions about each other, we with it.
it. You're so silly. Let me tell you, I don't feel slighted at all that you want to meet him before you even meet me. Not slighted.
It's all good. I'll meet y'all at the same time.
Not slighted at all.
No, I'm just being respectful. I got a whole wife at the house. I got
I'm
to.
just like, I come to California all the time.
It's so funny.
Not slighted at all.
We won't even leave this house. And is that Posey? What's up, Posey? It's my buddy Posey.
That's it.
Yeah, man.
Because I
But
can't wait to meet my crush.
it's so funny. I'm gonna tell my wife you can't wait to meet her. That's so funny.
Every comedy dude know I'll be crushing on y'all wives and girlfriends. It's nothing I can do. Y'all have
It's so
some
funny.
beautiful ladies out here in these streets.
Yeah, my lady, she's
Yeah,
awesome,
but
man.
you all make sure that you tune in to me, if nobody else, okay? At the love below _ sex talk with T.Graye. Check out my new website, www.sextalkwithtgraye.com. Get you some merch. I talked to some of the best comedians in the country. You guys are talking about sex. We're having a lot of fun doing it. And I'm on the new Black-owned Roku channel, 7 on Demand. So every Wednesday, if you got your Roku, download 7 on Demand. Get this face on your TV. Okay? Then hop over here and get the rest of these laughs that couldn't be aired on TV. Okay? Enjoy. But I have had so much fun. This is absolutely the best laugh that I could have asked for. Ron G fixed my life. We're going to start a new show
It's so
because
funny.
I don't know why you haven't started that show yet.
Oh man, I probably will one
Listen,
day. That's
Netflix
so
will
cool.
definitely pick it up, somebody, because let me
You have
tell
to
you, you
own
have a
that,
gift.
beloved. Own that,
Listen,
beloved.
you have a gift, bro. You do.
Thank
You
you,
got a gift. I'm not gonna take nothing away from you. But
man. That
between
means a
your own
lot.
shape up and giving love advice, you winning. You understand
That's
me?
so funny. I'm learning because I made a lot of mistakes, man. It's so funny, like how all the mistakes add up, and like now I'm in a place where I do have a platform, and I think just me having my wife,
Yeah,
it's kind of like this. This is the part that you miss
yeah.
in order for that platform to like be validated. Not that you need to be
See?
married to be validate your purpose, but for mine, I know that's a part of it.
And my baby brother just hopped in here. I know that's you, baby brother. I know that's you.
Hey, what up, baby
But
brother?
yeah, no,
Cool.
my
Well,
baby
thank you so
brother and
much.
his girl, they would be hilarious on Couples Couch. They'd be hilarious. But you guys, thank you all for chiming in. I truly, truly appreciate it. I promise to have more lives to you all, more great guests. In the meantime, make sure you go check out my dope content. Make sure you check out the content of my guests. So many amazing things. There's a lot of black magic happening right here. And I'll see you all next time. Okay?
See you soon.
Bye.
Later.